Hello everybody, how are you? Shaya Sussman here. We're at the third day of the Twerski Wellness Institute Jewish Center for Wellbeing Conference, Innate Health Conference here in New York. I have the privilege to sit with Aviva Barnett, who's the author of Ride the Wave and a great social worker, presenter here on the conference. And I'm gonna do an interview with her. We're gonna ask her a question and see what she has to say. So Aviva, my question to you is, what makes the principle-based approach, the innate health approach, different from than any other form of self-help?
Self-help, I would say, or even traditional therapy. I think the main difference is the premise on which we stand. The premise I believe the principles are pointing to is that every human being is innately healthy and resilient right now, no matter what, period. Meaning no matter what I'm thinking. I might be having anxious thinking, depressed thinking, obsessive thinking. I might be in a lot of pain from my past. I might be worrying about the future. I might be doing behaviors out of that kind of feeling state. But at the end of the day, when I know that I am okay no matter what, because the principles are pointing to a pre-existing condition before my thinking and my feeling. And what it's trying to point to is that we are living in the feeling of our thinking, meaning there's a universal energy of thought coming through us that brings us our experience. And when I know that, and I'm not blaming the world, my husband, the past, my personality, my nature for my experience of life, from where my feelings are coming from, when I'm not doing that, and I own up to it can only be coming from the inside out nature of life, there's a tremendous amount of freedom, resilience, love that I think shows up for people. And I think the healing that happens just happens in a much, I don't want to say quicker fashion, but in a totally different, insightful kind of fashion.
So let me see, you mentioned before, you said your feelings aren't coming from your past. I mean, I went through a lot of crazy situations in life, and doesn't my past have to do with my feeling right now?
Yeah, it's such a great question, because it is when you say what's different about the understanding, it's a radical difference. Because how can someone come and say that my experience is not coming from my past? It was very traumatic. And what we're coming to say is that life is lived moment to moment. That's all I have, is this moment right now. I am having an experience. And there's no way that something that happened in the past can come alive now, but for in my thinking. So in thought, in the moment, I can remember it, I can bring it to life, I can have an experience of it now, but it's not because of something that happened, it's because now I'm bringing to life and living in that thought right now.
So I know one question that we get a lot is, and I wonder what you have to say this, so are you saying that I need to actually change my thinking?
That's a great question. Well, I think that thought actually changes on its own. That's the truth. And even more than that, not that I need to change my thinking, but when I understand that there is something deeper than the thinking I have, right? Chit-chat, all the stuff that goes on in my mind, there is a bigger power in the universe at play, bigger than the content of my thinking. And when we point people in that direction, there's something about that that's very healing for people. It's like pointing to the pipeline instead of the content that's in the pipe. So if I see, and then I know it doesn't necessarily sound, there's something insightful that people start to see there, that I'm more than my thinking. And when I'm not getting caught up in all of the content that I'm having, I'm okay. And I don't have to change it. I'm in an experience and I'm okay in my experience, and the experience changes on its own because that's the nature of thought. That's the nature of the power of life. Just like I don't hold on to my last breath. I don't hold on to my heartbeat. Another one is always coming. And if I'm realizing that I'm just okay in the experience I'm in, the innate resilience comes out to help me handle it without having to get in and change it up. You know, people only want to change all their thinking is because they're bought into the belief that it's not okay to be uncomfortable. It's not okay to be in distressing feelings. Well, when that's not on the table, that it's not okay, I have to feel better, I have to feel better. When that's kind of not on the table, I find people actually end up being okay with the experience they're in, and the natural byproduct is that they feel better. But you kind of can't do it in order to feel better.
Very nice. Well, you heard it first from Aviva. It sounds like a much more hopeful message. If you feel like you're suffering out there and you're checking out the principles of innate health, the principles paradigm, Definitely worthwhile investment. I'm going to link Aviva's website in the description below. You can check out her book. I'm also going to put in the description below, Ride the Wave. I hope you'd enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and have a good one. All right, we're done, everybody.